Hi everyone, and welcome to my brief introduction on the flipped history classroom, which I'll be doing in 2014. The subject I've chosen to do this initially is my stage 1 history course. So my current year 11s in semester 1 are actually trialing this as we speak right now. So firstly, you might be asking, what is the flipped classroom? You may have heard of it. It's garnered a lot of sort of traction in the educational media, and basically what it is it's 21st century learning. Okay, so the idea is that the traditional school classroom, basically you have the lecturing out the front, you assign homework, the kids go home, they do their homework, they come in the next day, you might briefly discuss it, and then they get the next lot of instructional content. Okay, the idea of the flipped classroom is turning that around. So the instructional content is recorded. It can be watched in study, it can be watched at home, it can be watched on the bus. If they've got a mobile device, it's learn when you want, how you want, okay? And so the most common form of this is to create instructional videos. It's not all about videos. It could be a podcast, it could be a dialogue that you send home, okay? And secondly, during the actual class time is when you get to sit around, discuss things, work on assessment tasks together. So you've got the teacher there to help the students because they are the expert in the subject. For example, rather than having to write an essay at home where you struggle and you don't know what to do, isn't it better to actually sit in the class writing it and then be able to get the teacher's assistance immediately? This is what opens it up. It also opens up avenues for an online classroom using a variety of platforms. So you really get this concept of 24/7 learning. Okay, you learn how you want, when you want, where you want, and that's win-win for both teachers and students, as well as parents, because they actually now can actually get involved as well. They can watch the lectures and participate with their children to see what's going on. So in a couple of diagrams here, you'll see on the top right the triangle. That's the basic sort of understanding, remembering the lower tasks down the bottom, right up to the sort of Web 2.0 tools that you can use to create. Okay, then that's Bloom's taxonomy, using it in a digital context. So by using the flipped classroom, we're aiming for the pointier end of things rather than just the simple, this is what I said, remember it, go home and practice. We want students to be creating new knowledge and evaluating that knowledge. And so the question is, why do this? Okay, well, believe it or not, the world is moving at an incredibly rapid rate. This is a 21st century method for the 21st century learner. It's a differentiated learning. So gone are the days where it's sort of learn by rote, one size fits all model, because everybody's an individual, everybody learns differently. And so with the flipped model, this can be differentiated to every single student. For example, in the current course I'm delivering, I've covered up to, I think it's about 24 different topics, which only 9 of them are required to be covered by the students, but they can actually pick the topics that they want to do. So last year when running this course, I just ran a handful of topics and everybody did the same thing, and while it worked, now I actually have the opportunity to give everybody the option of what they want to learn about, because history, like any subject, is personal. I, for example, might really want to do the Russian front on World War II. Someone else might want to do the Great Depression. Everybody's different. So using this model, I can deliver a differentiated curriculum to every single one of my students. Okay. Studies have shown that engagement has been increased by this model. It can be gamified, so assigning points for certain videos and things in the junior levels, which gets the more competitive angle. It also creates better study skills as well, and self-directed study. Okay, and as I've previously mentioned, that aspect of learning anywhere, anytime, anyhow is really important. And finally, just the collaborative aspect. Okay, so rather than me being the sort of, sage on the stage, as it were, I'm more of the guide on the side, to use some other terminology. So I'm there to work with the students, not work for the students, if that makes sense. So we're all in this together. We collaborate on projects. We can work in real time. For example, I could be writing a document in Google Docs, and the student could be typing up their essay, and I can be editing it in real time and putting in voice notes for them using this model. So it's really, really exciting. And literally the sky is the limit when it comes to sort of what you want to do, and the amount of technology available, iPads, Android apps, Google Chrome books, it's just crazy how much stuff is out there. So the more that you're willing to have a go and plunge into the deep end and not fight it, the better it's going to be for everybody to have those 21st century skills. Okay, and now for the how it's done. We've looked at why. How many ways can you skin a cat? Not that I've ever tried. There's literally thousands of ways. Some people, for example, use their mobile phone to record a PowerPoint while they're doing it, holding it up. I've learned how to use these tools up here, the TechSmith tools. So you've got Snagit, which is the sort of basic tool, and the very powerful tool of Camtasia. So what I'm using right now is Camtasia Studio. So this actually records my desktop, and I've set it to only record the area covered by the PowerPoint right now. So you'll notice the mouse disappears off the screen because I've got two screens, the other part of the desktop. Okay, so I can be recording with one of these sort of software packages. This is the actual headset I'm using as well. Okay, so recording while I'm talking to the computer. Some people even have their webcams playing so that you can actually embed a little, say down the bottom, webcam image of the teacher talking. I don't think you want to see me at 11 o'clock at night in my shed, but in the future I probably will buy one of these just so it has that sort of human connection element to it. As I said, people do just stand there recording their screens. You can upload to YouTube. If you don't want to make your own videos, use somebody else's. There's even an app called a web tool, EduPuzzle, I believe it's called, and it lets you sort of clip apart, crop, if you will, a video on YouTube and embed your voice into it. So you could use somebody else's instructional video and put your voice, dub your voice over the top if you don't have the sort of technical know-how to make your own videos. There's nothing wrong. People using a bit of paper before, for example, and just writing notes on it and taking screenshots of that. That's fine. It's a start. The fact is they're having a go, and that's the important thing. The way I do things though is a bit different. I record my screen, make my presentations. For my middle years kids, I upload things to Edmodo, which is basically a virtual classroom. Its ease of use is if you can use Facebook, you can use Edmodo. For my senior students, I use Schoology, and the only reason for that is actually that it's a little bit more powerful, has larger file size limits. Again, it's basically the same. This just looks a little bit more sort of slick and mature. This is just, if you can use Facebook, you can use Edmodo. Both are really, really powerful and fantastic, and I've made a couple of videos on how to use these, so if you have any questions, please contact me. I'm more than happy to help. And as I previously mentioned, I've got a bunch of topics that I'll be doing. So just for example, we're looking at the Dark Ages initially, the Vikings, the Normans, the Mongols, the Crusades. We've got the slave trade, colonial America, Spanish conquests of America, Age of Exploration, the Black Death, the Golden Age of Piracy, the American Revolution, the American Civil War, global imperialism, World War II, genocide, global terrorism, the Civil Rights Movement, the Cold War, and World War II in general. These are just a few topics that people picked. I can also add more if they're required. So as you can see, there's a huge range of topics that I can do. Generally there'll just be one video per topic, but on something such as World War II, where there's so much, there might be 3 or 4 videos to cover each of the fronts. The same from American and British point of view on the American Revolution. Okay, so the fact is that these are the topics that my students wanted to do. When normally, for example, last year we did World War II, terrorism, and the American Revolution. We did 3. This time I can offer them all of these, and the kids pick the ones they want to do. They don't have to do all of these. They just do their assessment tasks on the ones they're interested in. And that is a win-win for me and a win-win for the kids, because they're doing what they're engaged in. So there you have it. That's a brief introduction to my flipped history classroom for this semester, semester 1, 2014. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can email me direct at simon.baker973@schools.sa.edu.au, or if you're on Twitter, please follow me. I always like more followers. I've reached over 1,000 now, and that's Bakester, Bakester 1984. Okay, tweet me and follow me, and because I'll be uploading the videos as well. These videos will be uploaded to YouTube. They'll also be sent to the kids' Schoology and Edmodo accounts depending on which year level they're in. So as a parent, as other teachers, if you're interested and want to see what I'm doing, just let me know. Thanks for your time and have a wonderful evening. Cheers. Bye.